Next week it would have been 6 months since I opened my bar, Rum Runner. It's here on Soy Buakhao. I'm only going to mention it once. We open at 3 p.m. and it's a happy hour till 10. 6 months, and it's been the most amazing journey. And the first thing I want to do is say thank you to everybody that has come and through that door and come and see me and come and enjoyed the bar here on Soy Buakhao. There were a lot of people that were doubting whether or not this location here would work. We're on Soy Buakhao. Previously my other bar was on Walking Street, and we're not in a high footfall area of Soy Buakhao. In fact, I remember the first couple of days walking around talking to other bar owners. It was lucky. The person who is the manager of the bar next door is somebody that I've known for a long time. I didn't know that they worked here. And he was telling me how difficult it was with the area, that there wasn't a lot of footfall at night. And a lot of people said that I took a big risk. I remember doing an interview with Trevor 2 or 3 months ago. And Trevor saying, wow, you took this massive gamble by buying this place. And you know, I never ever actually saw it as a gamble. For me, a big gamble is signing a lease with huge key money, with huge rent in a high footfall area, and then hoping that footfall translates into customers into your bar. That's the risk, because you have a financial risk from day one. And having been in the business a few years, I think it's better to just be relaxed about the finances, not wake up every day worrying how you're going to pay the rent, how you're going to pay your staff, right? And to do that, you have to have, first of all, low outgoings on the rent, on the key money, and low outgoings on your staff and your management levels. And I literally wrote everything down on one piece of paper, just a small piece of paper, everything. And I thought this bar was pretty low risk, to be honest. I do remember though, on the first day that I came into the bar, I was with my missus, and I want to talk about her in a short while. And we were tidying up the cashier counter because it had been closed for about 3 years, maybe 4 years. And I found a book, and it was a ledger that the cashier of the previous bar had been writing down all the takings, all the lady drinks, all the commissions, all the expenses every day. And it was like a horror show. The money they were taking was so small. And I remember looking at that book and going, oh my God, we've really, really got to try hard here. But I remember when I opened the pub, on the day before I went to the pub, they were celebrating, and they're celebrating because they sold 5,000 baht in one night for the first time. For the first time they'd done 5,000 baht. Well, on the very first day I went there, without any publicity or anything, I tripled that. So it can be done if you've got the right people and the right social media behind you. And I don't think, all in all, that this place was much of a risk. A lot of people told me about the license. They said that there were problems getting the license. The advertisement for this place stated that, oh, you've got to get your license yourself, and it was almost like the seller was kind of removing themselves away from the license issue. First thing I did before I even put a deposit down was check with the local licensing people if it was okay, that this building was clear. The building was clear, and I'm very happy to say yeah, we got the license. We got the license, and that's another thing that is such a relief when you're operating legally. It's something that you can sleep better on when you get up in the morning. You feel good. So when I came here, the bar looked a lot different. I wanted to do a complete rebuild. There was seats here, but the seats weren't that comfortable, and I didn't really like the colour. There was a stage here, but the stage was basically just a wooden box with some lights inside. There was a sound system, but it wasn't good. So I just basically changed everything. And if I made you know, a gamble in a way. It was investing that money into the bar early on, doing a complete refit and changing everything, because you know, I tell you now, one of the reasons why I think this bar worked for me was because I didn't have any partners. It was just me. There wasn't 2, 3, 4 investors all trying to put money in, but then obviously wanting a slice of that pie with the money out. I realised pretty early on that I would need to build a new fire door, because since the bar had closed 3 or 4 years ago, a lot of the fire regulations have changed following the horrible fire at Pattaya. And so, you know, I knew that there was a lot of work to do here. It took about 6 weeks, and I've never not done anything for 6 weeks. I took a little bit of a holiday with Songkran, but it was really horrible. I've got to be honest. As much as I like my own company and I love being with my lady, I also like the hustle and bustle, the ups and downs of having my own bar, talking to people. So it was great to open, but we opened in May. May, traditionally for me, I think is one of the quietest months of the year, right? And all the YouTubers and everyone else was saying that it was the quietest low season anyone can remember. I don't actually agree with that. I don't think it was quite as bad as people were making out. But we made it through. One of the things that I did was that I had advertising on a fleet of BART buses just to get the name out there. And I think that sort of thing is good when you're launching a new thing. If it's an established brand and everyone knows about it anyway, I don't think it's worth it. But because it was new, because we had different opening hours to most businesses, I did that. But it was difficult because that advertising was expensive. But that advertising, coupled with a lot of stuff I did on social media, not just on my YouTube channel, but on the YouTube channel of my friends, and I'm so grateful for them to have given me the time and the exposure that has mean that the bar has been so good. Thank you so much to them. The opening hours were different. We open at 3 and we close at 11. And let me once again stress that the reason I do that, first of all, so many people say, oh, you open in the daytime. Are you a gentleman's club? No, we're not a gentleman's club. The format of the bar is quite simple. It's a daytime go-go bar. There is another daytime go-go bar that opens. In fact, when we opened, there were another 2 daytime go-go bars. Those 2 kind of changed times. Dirty Money over the road pushed their opening times forward till 5 p.m. So they kind of opened a little bit later than us. Another bar closed. But I just wanted somewhere that I could work during the afternoons and into the early evening. And by about 11, 12 o'clock, when things were starting to heat up, I then wanted to close. There is a saying in showbiz, always leave people wanting more. And I think that's true. And there have been times when we've been absolutely packed in here, and I've played the last song at 11 o'clock, and guys come up to me, why are you closing? Why are you closing? Well, I'd say why I'm closing. I'm closing because the girls, okay, you've come in here maybe an hour and a half ago, but the girls have been here since 3 o'clock. The staff, in my opinion, like to know that there is rules and there is a strict time that they can say, right, we are now closed. A lot of these staff have got families. A lot of these staff have got children. They have to take children to school, for example. So they want to know that they have got a set closing time every day. And so even if we're absolutely packed, we still close at 11 o'clock. I must stress, we are not a gentleman's club, right? We don't have short time rooms. And the big one, and it was one that I went over in my mind a lot, is that the fact that we don't have any nudity. There was, I think in the first week or the second week, there was a guy who sat here, and he was somebody who told me he'd been living in Thailand for, I don't know, 20 years, one of them. Been living in Thailand for 20 years. Your bar will fail because you don't have nudity. And my answer to that is, there are plenty of bars that do have nudity, so this bar is not for everybody, right? If you want to see that, right, there are 100 bars that have got that. But I just wanted to feel that I could get maybe a better class of lineup of girls if there wasn't nudity. Because let me tell you now, the girls, some of them, I'd say most of them, don't really like doing nudity. They do it because they have to, because they get paid. But most of the girls that come here, and I think I've got a fantastic lineup, and I'll get into that in a minute. They say that they left this bar or that bar because they didn't want to do nudity. This guy said my bar would fail, that every go-go bar has nudity. No, it's not. That's complete rubbish. A lot of bars do, but there's plenty of bars that don't. And if I'm in the 5% that don't, then guess what? I'm in the 5% that don't. But the bar is still here and he's doing well. So in that respect, I think I made the right call. I wanted to have a really strong lineup of good-looking, attractive staff in the afternoons. And that was the concept that I had, and that is a concept that I have stuck with, and that is a concept that I have achieved. Talking of the girls, right, there is one thing in this bar that the girls do not like, and that is something that I made a video about straight away, and that was the music. I wanted the music policy to be strictly rock music, soft rock, classic rock from the 60s, 70s, 80s, whatever, mixed in with some Thai music, right? I have adapted that slightly in that I do play a few 80s classics. I do play disco now, and usually disco rock don't usually mix, but I think they mix really nicely. However, what I have not done is I have not decided to start playing hip-hop music, EDM music, which every other go-go bar plays. I've got nothing against those genres of music. Look, I've been a DJ for 30 years and I have respect for all different genres of music, right? Just because people of my generation generally don't like a certain genre of music doesn't mean it's not good. It just means that, you know, we're a bit old. We don't really get it, right? Right? Same as when rock and roll came out in the 50s, right? All the generations from 40, 50 years ago said it was terrible. Well, it's all about optics, isn't it? Where you're looking from it. So I stuck to my music policy. I've got nothing against loud EDM and hip hop, but it's not what I wanted this club to be. And it's fair to say that most of the girls want to hear that sort of music. So in a way, I kind of brainwashed them in that, you know, look, if you want to work here, please do, but this is the music we play. And when girls come to interview, and I'll get on to how we recruit girls and all that in a while, when girls come to interview and they want to come and work here, one of the things I say to them is, look, we play all old music here. Can you dance to that? Are you okay with dancing to that? And they always say yes. Sometimes they say yes, but you can tell they mean no, right? And I think one of the main reasons that a lot of the staff will stay here, maybe just do 5 or 10 days, is the fact that they really can't get on with the music. But I have stuck with it, and the music stays. The volume level is really, really important. I've spent a lot of money on making a kind of surround sound here. When I opened the bar, I talked to the sound engineer that was installing the sound, and like, he just did not understand my concept. He wanted to put in these huge, great big speakers. It's a go-go bar. I told him no. Thankfully, I have been proved right on that. You can hear the music. It is clear. It is a very, very nice sound, but it is not loud, and you can talk to the members of staff here in the bar, right? I do believe that a lot of the times the music is just loud because basically the girls don't want to talk to you, right? That is not the case here in this bar. So there is no mama-san in this bar, right? 6 months down the line, there is still no mama-san in this bar. And the reason is, I just have, and again I've made a video about this separately, I just feel that the mama-san is, although they have their positives, they just create problems more than they actually solve. And I think the fact that I've got a really, really strong lineup at the moment is proof of the fact that I don't think you really, really need a mama-san. I can speak Thai. The girls actually recruit themselves. The vast majority of girls come in because they're friends of other girls. If a new girl comes in, you may be 50% of the time they'll stay, 50% they just don't like the bar and they'll go. That's cool. I'm cool with that. You know, nobody's perfect, but those 50% that stay will then recruit their friends. I mean, 50% of those will stay, and it goes on and goes on, right? I don't think there is a mama-san in the world that can now walk into a bar with 30 or 40 new girls. And if she does, guess what? She's taking those 30 or 40 girls from another bar where she probably used to work, right? And guess what? If she comes with 30 or 40 girls in this bar and you have a row with mama-san because there's some kind of power struggle going on within the bar, she's going to leave and she's going to take them 30 or 40 girls with her. So that's why I don't have mama-san. If they have any loyalty, if the staff have any loyalty at all, and I'm not sure they do, but if they do, that loyalty is to me. So that's why I don't have it. I don't have nudity. I have low drinks quotas. I don't have a mama-san. And I think another really strong recruitment thing is that we close at 11 o'clock. Right? I'm not stupid. I know that the girls are going out to party at 11, maybe meeting customers, meeting them at 7-Eleven, meeting them at the pool hall, right? It's 2025. That's what happens these days, right? But the girls are okay with that. As long as they can make it in early, they like leaving at 11, and I think it is a very, very strong reason why we've been able to recruit girls okay. So, how is the bar doing? Well, like I said, we opened in May. It was very quiet. We had a lot of money to pay with all the advertising that I was doing at the time. It paid off. Even in the quiet months of May, June, July, I managed to make a profit, right? We are now coming into high season. November last year at my other bar was a really busy month. More so than December, because I think the high flight prices and the high cost for hotels over the really, really stupid high season in December and beginning of January just put a lot of people off. So we're going straight now into maybe high season, right? I don't necessarily think the high season is going to be absolutely fantastic this year. I think it's going to be okay, but it's not going to set any records. We have got, as I speak right now, a strong lineup. We have got really, really good regular customers that are coming in. They like the bar, they like the girls, they like the music, they like the fact that it's not too loud, and they like the prices, because one of the reasons that, again, we don't do nudity in the bar is because I like to keep the prices low. If I had to pay, if the girls are going to do nudity, then they have to get paid more, and they get paid more. That means that that cost is put onto the customer. And people will go in the comments and say, well, I go to this bar and it's cheap, and the girls, right, fine, right, that's fine. But from my experience, things are going really well here, and I just wanted a place where people could come in the afternoon and just sit and relax and talk to girls, talk to nice girls. If anybody remembers Secrets on Soy 14, I was a manager there. The afternoons there had sometimes had a great vibe. And let me say this, we are not busy every day. We are not busy all the time. You will probably come into the bar and there'll be nobody here and who'll go, no, that Mr. Egg's talking about how well his bar's doing, he's talking rubbish, right? It's not busy every day, but guess what? Because I haven't got a manager, I haven't got mama-san, I've got low rent, right? I don't have to be busy every day to make a small profit. And that's why I think this bar is, at the moment, great lineup, fantastic regular customers, good PR and good social media. We are going forward and I'm really, really pleased. Have there been problems along the way? Yes. I remember one Friday, we were quite busy and there was sort of an explosion, if you like, in the bar. All the lights went out, I lost all the power. And the wiring and the electrics in here have been a big issue. We had to get an electrician in. We lost that Friday night, had to get an electrician in, and it was discovered that there was some very, very questionable wiring inside the bar. I've had a Western standard electrician here who has completely rewired most of everything here now, and it is a safe system, and we go forward like that. We've had problems with that. We've had problems with some days we've only had 6 girls, 8 girls in the bar, right? Guess what? Still a nice atmosphere. We can still put a bit of money in the till. Some nights we've had 20, 22 girls. It's up and down all the time. I am convinced that this bar will never ever get any kind of sort of flat line. It will always be up and down. You'll have some really busy nights and some really quiet nights. I don't think that is ever going to change. Even in high season, I think we're probably going to see some quiet nights, right? But we have a good system here. We have some great behind the scenes staff, like I've got some great cashiers, my service staff are good. And I want to say and end on one thing, and a big thank you, and that is to my missus, right? We haven't been together very long, but my missus has initially not very happy about the fact that I was going down the road of having a go-go bar. She has worked so hard, and the dedication that she has shown, she's put in place systems. I don't hear anybody say anything negative about her. She's never lost her temper, she's never shouted. She deals with situations. She has been great, right? And I think a lot of the success of the bar is down to her, and I hope it will continue for a long time. So thank you to her. I started off by saying thank you to all the customers that have come in the last 6 months. Thank you again from me for making this what it's been so far. As of now, it's been good. Now, I've been in this business long enough to know that overnight things can go completely wrong, right? So I have to remain focused. I have to remain on track. I can't just sit back and relax. I have to drive the business to make sure that we have a good high season, and then we can go and try and just keep on going, right? Because if you take your eye off the road for 5 seconds in this business, things start going wrong. So I will do that. In the future, well, we've got some new signage coming. I want to put some signage outside explaining that we have got dancers inside, because I think a lot of people don't know. And I've already started remodeling a little bit. I've decided to change the toilets around. I've put a urinal in. I've put some more wiring in. We want to put some more TVs in here, because although we're not a sports bar, we like to show sport in here. That's because of me. I want to get a really, really, really good coffee machine in here. That's going to cost a lot of money, because I want my coffee to be a really, like, not just what you usually get in bars. I want it to be superb, and that's going to cost money. The grinder's going to cost money. That's for the future, right? But for right now, I'm really, really happy about the way things are going. Let's keep going. Please come to visit us in the bar. We are here on Soy Buakau, right by the market, just by the S-Bend there. The location is correct in Bolt, and it's also correct in Google Maps, but it is not correct in Facebook, and I have told them a million times, and they still haven't changed it. But never mind, we'll try and get that sorted for the next few weeks. But thank you everybody that has made it so good, and shoulders to the grind. We are going to make it even better during high season. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week. Bye bye.